Okay, so a very good afternoon to all present here, honorable guests and dear authors. I am Sumanj Barwal, moderator of this session. I welcome you all to the technical session 2A. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 8th International Conference on ICT for Sustainable Development, Goa, India. This 8th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held in Goa on the 3rd of August, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom today and tomorrow, that is 3rd and the 4th of August. I hope that you all will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. So before starting with the session, let me brief you about how we proceed. So in this session, we are having a total of 10 presentations. Each presenter would be getting 8 minutes to present their presentation and 2 minutes for the question and answers. On 7 minutes, I'll raise a gentle reminder so that you can conclude your presentation as soon as possible. There is another request to all the participants that you all stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. So before we get started, I would like to introduce you all to the chair for this session. So today we have with us Dr. Nimisha Patel. Dr. Nimisha Patel has 19 years of teaching experience in the field of computer science and engineering and information technology. She is currently working as a professor and head of the Department of CEIT at Gandhinagar Institute of Technology, Gandhinagar University. During her 19 years of experience, she has worked as an associate dean R&D at Indus University, HOD of Computer Science Engineering at Indus University, and professor and head in the CE department of Sankalchand Patel College of Engineering, Visnagar. She has also worked as a dean, Faculty of Computer Science, Sankalchand Patel University, Visnagar. She has 51 research papers in various conferences and journals of national and international repute with Scopus, ESCI, UGC Index. Her area of domain is cloud computing, networking, information security, and parallel programming. It is our great pleasure to have you here with us now. Ma'am, before starting with the session, would you like to say something to all the authors?
No, sir. I will say a few words at time.
Okay, sure, ma'am. So let's start with the presentation. And first up, we have Malabika Sahu, and her paper title is A Bibliometric Analysis of Artificial Intelligence and Human Resource Management. Malabika, can you hear me?
Yes. Good afternoon. I'm able to hear you. Please give me the screen sharing option.
Yes, I have given you the option, so you may please share.
Okay. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, your screen is visible. Can you please switch to the slideshow mode?
Yes.
Yes. So you have got 8 minutes and you may start, Malabika.
Okay, so very good afternoon to one and all present here. The topic of my presentation is bibliometric analysis of artificial intelligence and human resource management. A brief introduction about myself. I'm Dr. Malvika from KIT University, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. The flow of my presentation would be, I'll start with an introduction, then I'll move to the objectives, methods, and results, then finally with implications and conclusions. First, why, as all of us are very aware that artificial intelligence is a trend in the new normal scenario. So there is an increasing application of artificial intelligence in business and organizations among all sectors. And the most important part is the uses of artificial intelligence in the human resource department is not an exception. Different functions of human resource management, such as recruitment, employee management, engagement, have been changed drastically by the use of artificial intelligence. Most of the manual HR works are taken over by machine, enabling HR managers to deal with more strategic roles. So as human resource management is being reinvented critically by advanced innovative technologies, artificial intelligence is reshaping the varied function of human resource management. For example, different functions such as procurement or recruitment, selection, performance management, training and development, employee engagement are effectively managed with artificial intelligence applications. The industry is attracted much by artificial intelligent bots and humanoid service robots. It has been observed that AI applications has transfigured the traditional human resource functions, resulting better work management, time saving, better scope for human resource management, and at the same time also posing many challenges for the employees. So owing to the uh, uptrending use of artificial intelligence in human resource management, the objective of this research work is to perform a bibliometric analysis on the rising trend of research in artificial intelligence and human resource management from the time period of 2013 to 23. For selecting the data, we have selected Web of Science as a database. And initially, when we hit the keywords, the initial search yielded 3,475 articles, out of which, after rigorous screening process, 210 was fit suitable for the analysis. So basically, this is a bibliometric review. The objective is to know the research trend in the domain, who are the prominent authors, who are the countries who contribute most in the research domain, etc. So now talking about search criteria and screening procedure. As I already mentioned, I used the Web of Science as the for the data collection, and the data was collected on 16th February 2023. It is one of the best bibliometric source for quality articles. The keywords used in the research are AI or artificial intelligence or machine learning or deep learning or neural network and human resource management or human resources or HRM. So I have kept only journal papers published in English language from the year 2013 to 23. Now jumping to the findings. As the figure indicates, the research took an accelerating trend, the publication from 2013 till 23, and 2021-22 are marked as the highest publication year in the domain. Now talking about the highly cited papers and authors, I have mentioned 5 top cited authors in the domain, like Huang and Rust having 660 citations, followed by Kevery et al. With 60 citations. The figure now coming to the most top 10 highly cited journals. Now, this is the co-authorship network map, which indicates the interconnection or joint work of different authors. So as the figure indicates, Ferreira is having the highest connection in the domain with other authors. Like now, regarding the inter-country co-authorship map, out of 63 countries in the map, 46 met the criteria of minimum number of 2 citations per country. So the figure indicates that China, USA, Australia, England, and India have co-authored with maximum number of authors and with other countries. Now talking about keyword co-occurrence map, which indicates the most prominent keywords used for the maximum number of times. So if you look to the figure, the highest occurrence of keywords related to application are machine learning, which has been used 28 times, artificial intelligence, having used by 26 times, human resource management, and performance. So this is the keyword co-occurrence visualization map, which was created by VOSBR software. This is same the time period. Now jumping to the implications part. Basically, this bibliometric review offers several useful insights and directions for practitioners. The research evidence corroborates the increased adoption of AI in HRM over the years, as we have seen in the figure from 2013 to 23. The escalation of artificial intelligence in different domains reduces the routine work of HR managers and other managers. Use of artificial intelligence helps the organization to take more informed decisions, enhanced performance, and reduction of human errors. As mentioned by these authors, there is a need for managers in organizations to encourage the use of artificial intelligence in different domains of human resource management. The artificial intelligence can be used in employee selection, learning and development, employee engagement, compensation, performance management, talent retention, etc. AI acts as a support function in human resource management and development. Most of the activities concerned with hiring, engaging, and retaining employees are professionally managed in a structured way with the help of artificial intelligence. The overwhelming adoption of technology, especially in HRM, uh, the reason could be due to the enormous power of data and the decisive role of enhancing performance of individuals as well as organizations. The amalgamation of AI in the HRM domains helps the organization to make more accurate and better decisions. The use
Sorry
of
to
AI.
interrupt, Malvika ma'am. It's 7 minutes. Please conclude as
Yeah,
soon as
I'll conclude within 1 minute. Use of AI results in enhanced employee productivity, reduced cost, improved organizational performance, automation of mundane human tasks, and predicting future outcomes. However, despite its significance, people have fear and negativity for the application of AI. But in the long run, it is a palpable reality that the use of AI and technology will no longer be the options, but will be the bare necessity for the organizations to remain competitive. So hence researchers have realized the importance of conducting research in this domain. However, the review indicates that there are dearth of empirical and experimental studies which open the scope for future research in this domain. So now concluding my study, though the review is important in indicating the trend in research, there are certain limitations, like I have used only one single database for data extraction. So future studies could consider multiple databases, and also I have used only bibliometric review. Future researchers could carry out it with systematic literature reviews. Thank you.
Nimisha ma'am, any questions?
Yeah, Malvika, yeah, you did a very good analysis work. But I just wanted to give you the one suggestion. Whatever the paper you have referred, the
Yes.
latest paper is from 2020. We are in 2023. So it would be better for the literature review if we can include the latest paper from the genuine sources, then it makes our research gap more strengthened. This is
Ma'am,
the
I
one
have
suggestion.
taken data from 2013 to
Yeah,
2020.
data is 2013 to 2023. I am not talking about the data set. I am talking about the literature review you did for finding the gaps. You
Okay,
have
okay, ma'am.
mentioned the literature review. I'm talking about that. And
Okay.
second thing, for the analysis, you have used only one Web of Science sources.
Yes,
Is it so?
yes, yes.
Yeah. So just my suggestion is you can also go for another source. So from 2 to 3 analysis, we can conclude in a concrete way.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Nimisha ma'am, and thank you, Malvika ma'am. So moving
Thank
on to
you.
the next author, we have Surbhi, and her paper title is A Brief Review of Text Summarization Approaches. Surbhi ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Oh,
Okay, so can you please share your presentation?
okay, let me show. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, your screen is visible. Can you please switch to the slideshow mode? Yes. So you've
Okay,
got 8 minutes, ma'am. You may start.
okay. Hello everyone, my name is Surbhi Jangir. I'm from Jaipur, Rajasthan. So my paper topic is a brief review of text summarization approaches. The overview of the paper is introduction, methodology, data sets, the evaluation matrix we use, and we at last we compare the models present in text summarization, and then conclusion and future work. First of all, what is text summarization? Basically, we give a input text, then we summarize the text, and we have output summary. Today in the we have lot of data present in the world, so there is a basic need of text summarization. Okay, so here is the classification of text summarization system. We have criteria based on input document size, which is either we give single document or multi-document, then summarization algorithm used, whether it's supervised or unsupervised, then language of generated summary, whether from one summary to other summary or the same input language to other input language. Then nature of output summary, it's a query based summary or generic. Then summarization domain it is used for, it is either a general or domain specific. Then summary generated type, it's a sentence level, full summary or headlines generated or whether highlights. Then approach used, the classification for approach used is more important. Here we have extractive, abstractive and hybrid. In extractive, we just picking the important sentence from the input documents and some combine them to form a summary. In abstractive, we generate a more coherent summaries, and in hybrid we combine both the models. Then we have some summarization method we broadly classify into three types, as statistical, machine learning or deep learning methods. In statisticals, we mainly focus on physical features like term frequency, title word, sentence position. In machine learning, we main focus on graph based naive Bayesian classification, and in deep learning we use neural networks. For text summarization, we have sequence to sequence architecture where we have encoders and decoders. In encoders, we give the input, then it converted into a context vector, and from context vector the decoder generates the summaries. So we can use different kinds of neural networks as an encoders or decoders. There are RNN, LSTM, bidirectional RNN, GRU and transformer. In RNN we have a problem of long-term dependency problem, so we solve it with using LSTM, where we use forget gate, which information we need to cap and which need to forget. Then bidirectional RNN, it can output after processing in both direction, has forward and backward, thus enhancing the performance. Then we have JRU, and the most famous is transformer. In transformer we use a stack of encoders and decoders. Then these are the mechanisms as attention, pointer generator, copying, coverage, and distraction. This is used to enhance the text summarization summaries. In pointer generations, like we resolve the issues of out of vocabulary. In copying, some data we need to as it is as in our output summary. Also in coverage, we remove all the repetitions, and in distraction we text summarize whole the documents. Then these are the pre-trained models like BERT, Roberta, Distilbert, BART and ExcelNet. These models are basically pre-trained on a large document data sets. Combining these pre-trained models with the transformer give us good results. In BERT, we use mainly MLM or NSP. In MLM, it's a mass language model where we can mark one word and then predict the output. In NSP, it's a next sentence prediction where we just give the input and predict what the next term is coming. Similarly, all others pre-trained models. Then these are the data sets available which we can use to make our own training model. Now these are the evaluation metrics. These are recall oriented understudy for guessing evaluation, which is basic idea of ROG is the count of number of overlapping units between candidate summaries and reference summaries, such as overlap n-grams. Then ROG L, it is the longest common subsequence based statistics, where from input to summary we have golden summaries, and we compare the golden summary with the R model generated summary. Then we have Roge score, which give escape gram based co-occurrence statistics. Then at last we have BERT score. This is uh, most this BERT score focuses on computing semantic similarities between tokens of references and hypothesis. Basically, we can say it is more it give more good result, good evaluation matrix. It's based on coherent summary. Then Then it's a comparison of different encoders and decoders models that we can use in text summarizations, where we use name of the encoder models, name of the decoder models, and the what mechanism we use, the data sets we use, and what the scores it achieves. So uh, here I list down all the different uh, different reference papers and what mechanism and data sets they use. Using these table, we can analyze that encoder decoder models were mostly based on unidirectional. Now the more focus is on bidirectional RNN and LSTM, which improves our ROGE score. Then from the table we can say that transformer performs better than any other sequence to sequence model in abstractive text summarization, as there are no RNN layers, hence backpropagation across the time is not required. To get better outcome with text summarization, we can use pre-trained models, which gives us good results. Now in conclusion and future work, we can say that history to current state, we review all history to current state process in text summarization, and abstractive summarization is most widely used in text summarization because it gives coherent summaries. With the introduction of transformer and pre-trained models, it improves the ability of text summarization and mainly NLP related tasks. For future work, we can do more focus on large data set heads. Today's data sets is only available on news and medical information. We can mix and match other kind of data sets and need to improve more evaluation metrics. There are restricts of less evaluation metrics. Then is a flexible stopping criteria during the summary generation process and personalized summary generation. These are the references for the paper, and that's it. Thank you.
Hello.
Nimisha, any questions?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yeah. What are the other evaluation parameters that can be evaluated, Surbi?
There are blue methods and then matter graphics method.
These are the methods.
Yeah.
If I talk about
Evaluation
the
metrics.
evaluation
Yeah, these
parameters,
are the for evaluation parameters, we can use recall, precisions. Uh,
okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Surbi ma'am. Let's move on to the next author. Next is Pimi Gandotra, and her paper title is Adaptive Robust Beamforming Approach for Power Optimization in Device-to-Device Communication Network. Pimi ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, so ma'am, please share your presentation.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes, it's visible. Can you also switch to the slideshow mode?
Yeah. Is it coming as a slideshow?
No. Yes,
Now
yes.
it's, yeah.
Yes, you may start. You've got 8 minutes, ma'am.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. The title of my paper is Adaptive Robust Beamforming Approach for Power Optimization in D2D Communication Network. This is an overview of the contents that we would be covering. Beginning with an introduction, we would look at the system model which has been put forth, followed by the proposed scheme for adaptive beamforming in a device-to-device communication network. And there's a novel concept of beam merging being put forth here. Then we'll formulate the problem for the proposed scheme and analyze the results and eventually come to the conclusion. We are all aware that there is an intensification in the demand of localizing applications. The number of subscribers is rising, and so is the demands. A single handset is demanding multiple applications to be supported in concurrency. So for the same, there are some suitable architectural enhancements being introduced in wireless communication network, as a result of which we currently have reached the 5th generation of wireless communication networks. And Now with 5G being commercialized, we are working on 5G and beyond. So 5G is a term which actually represents an amalgam of numerous technologies, and of all those, device-to-device communication is indispensable when we talk of low power proximity communication, because power is a huge constraint in a wireless communication network. So further improvement in throughput in such networks can be supported with the inculcation of beamforming technology. So essentially this paper focuses on a D2D network, which is incorporating beamforming technology. So beamforming deploys highly directional antennas, which then help us deploy highly directional beams. So these highly directional beams actually improve the capacity over each link when over the area that they are servicing, help us improve the SNR and reduce the interference cancellation. This is the system model that is taken into consideration. Here we have considered the coverage area to be a university campus, which is Sri Mata Vaishno Devi University in Katra. We have divided this into three major zones: Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. Here, Zone 1 essentially is representing the hostel area and with a few cafes, and Zone 2 is the entire academic area here. And Zone 3 again is the residential part of the university. These red dots are actually showing D2D pairs. So pairs are found based on the distance between the users that are willing to communicate. So it is a short distance communication wherein we want to optimize the power levels with inclusion of beamforming. So first, we have broad and narrow beamforming concept, wherein what we do is that if there are large number of D2D pairs being formed in close vicinity to the base station in the distinct zones, then in distinct zones are served by distinct beams. Here we have zone 1, 2, 3 being served by 3 beams, maybe termed as B1, B2, and B3. So when the distance between the base station and pairs is less, we have broad beams. That is, the beam width is broad. We have a bigger angle covering the area of coverage. While if the dense zones are certain beyond a certain limit, we tend to form narrower beams, which are more focused towards these D2D pairs that are at the maybe towards the cell edge. So this adaptivity in the beam, like wider beam or a narrow beam, this entirely depends upon where the pairs are and where the energy of the beams need to be focused. So this is a very basis of adaptivity of beams in a D2D communication network while we are covering a university campus. Now, it is taken into consideration that if we consider that we are working during the office hours or the university hours, we would be observing that the residential campuses tend to have very less number of D2D pairs in comparison to the main campus of the building. So the beam which was to serve here in the residential campus, that is also rotated and merged with the beam that is serving this main campus, so that we have a merged beam covering a broader area and helping us achieve the quality of service requirements of more number of D2D users in this pilot area that we are taking into consideration. Along with highly directional antennas that are set up here at the base station for beamforming, we have an omnidirectional antenna also. So that omnidirectional antenna tends to serve any user demand that comes from lowly populated areas during the day, and beams tend to merge in the university campus here, so that we can meet the criteria for good throughput and quality of service. Now we are formulating the power that while meeting the throughput requirement, we have to minimize the power also. So while we are performing beamforming, as it is, the total power gets divided amongst the beams for the base station. So whichever beam is active, that tends to radiate the power. But subject to the minimum power that is allocated to each beam must be met, and the SINR should being achieved for the pairs being formed in a single beam. This must be greater than the threshold SINR, so as to not degrade the quality of service in the network. Now, after merging the beams, it was observed that adding the gains of individual beams tend to give us a bigger gain for the merged beam, and we have been able to meet the QoS requirements or the threshold data rate for the users in the merged beam area. These are the set of parameters that were used. We have considered 3GPP release 15 for defining these parameters, and some of the parameters have been taken up from previous papers also from the literature survey. These are some basic results that we are putting forth. Now, we took into consideration a distance of the pairs from the base station to vary from 50 meters to 300 meters, considering them to be in a small cell. Now, when we have wider beams, the distance from the base station is less, like up to 150 meters only. But for narrow beams, the distance was more, like up to 200 meters. But it was taken into consideration that in zone 2, when we had a merged beam, data rate was close to what the threshold was 10 bits per second per hertz. The data rate was very close to 10. It could cover a larger distance also to an extent, reason being we were merging these two beams, and number of users being covered or pairs being covered was also high, thereby helping us achieve the threshold data rate for more number of users with an optimized power level. Power levels were further optimized by application of game theory, wherein the beams were trying to optimize their power levels so that there could not be only one winner. All could achieve the threshold power levels without compromising the quality. This is the
Sorry
transmission.
to interrupt, ma'am. It's 7 minutes. Please conclude as soon as possible.
Yes, this is the graph for the transmit power, which depicted that without beam forming, the power levels were very high. But when we inculcated beam forming in the zone 2 and zone 3, we can see that there is a sufficient level of power saving with beam forming being achieved. So coming towards the conclusion, we have analyzed the performance of a D2D network with beamforming and analyzed the same over a university campus. So this puts forth that beamforming and D2D are essential components of a 5G wireless communication network. Adaptivity is inculcated based on the distance of the D2D users from the base station within the university campus, so that we have broad and narrow beams. And when the number of pairs tends to rise enormously, we can always steer the beam and merge it with a nearby beam without compromising the quality of service, because omnidirectional antenna also is radiating at all times to meet the basic essential services in a coverage area. Thank you.
Very good presentation, madam.
Nimisha, ma'am, any questions?
No, no question.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So let's move to the next author. So the next author is Shravani Bahulekar, and her paper title is Breast Cancer Detection Using Image Processing. Shravani, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay. Shravani, please present your screen.
Yes, sir. Is my PPT visible?
Yes, your PPT is visible. Can you also switch to the slideshow mode?
Yes, sir. Just okay. So good afternoon, everybody. Okay, yeah. Yes. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Shravani Bahulekar, a third-year student pursuing BTech in Computer Science from Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, Pune. And the topic of my paper is breast cancer detection using image processing. So breast cancer is the most common type of cancer which is found in women. It rarely occurs in men. It is majorly found in women. So it occurs when the breast cells start dividing, thereby forming lumps of masses known as tumors. A survey was conducted in 2020, which showed that 37.2% of women died because of breast cancer. However, experts believe that if the breast cancer is detected and diagnosed at an early stage, it can be cured. So for detecting cancer, computer-aided diagnosis systems can be made, which deploy algorithms such as CNN and YOLO to process images and detect tumors. So we did a literature review where we surveyed various papers which came up with such systems. And we found that the major algorithms which were proposed were CNN and YOLO and RCNN. So along with it, we also did a comparative study between the various versions of YOLO. And we found that the 7th version of YOLO, that is YOLO V7, gave the highest mean average precision value. Whereas for the previous versions of YOLO, the mean average precision value was less than that for YOLO V7, which is why we chose YOLO V7 for our project. So moving to the methodology of our project. Firstly, we started with collecting data set for training the model. So for this project, we chose to detect tumors in a mammogram. So we collected images with mammograms that contain breast tumors. So around 800 images were collected for this. Next, the images were divided into 3 categories: test, train, and validate. So the ratio that we used was 20-80. That is 80% of the data set was used for training the model and 20% was used for testing the model. So now the next step was labeling the images. Now this step was the most important step in our project. So the software that we used for labeling the images in YOLO format was Label IMG, that is label image. So here we manually labeled all the images in the train set by drawing a bounding box around the tumors present in the images. So in this way, we labeled 640 images for training the model. In the next step, we trained the model using the training images and the label that we made. The next step was passing the image to the trained model. So how YOLO works is that YOLO divides the image into 19x19 grids. And then the output layer, which is obtained from the trained model, is applied to every box of the grid. Now, if the object is identified in a given box, a bounding box is made around that object. Now, in this way, all the boxes in the grid have bounding boxes around them. In the next step, YOLO uses a non-maximum suppression function to identify the best bounding box out of all the boxes present, and that is how the tumor is identified in the image. So coming to the results part, so our results showed that if the image had nearly one tumor present, the confidence value for the bounding box was pretty high. However, if the number of tumors increased, the confidence value was getting less. And here we can see that towards the bottom right corner, we can see that there is an image with no tumor present. So our model could identify that there is no tumor present. Whereas on the left side, we can see if the tumor was present, the model was rightly able to identify the tumor and detect it in the image. And the next is, these are the few graphs that we obtained from the trained model. Now these graphs basically show that as the number of times the model was trained, the recall precision and the mean average precision value for the model increased with the number of times the model was trained. So to conclude, we can say that the early detection of breast cancer, it is very crucial for effective treatment and improved recovery prospects. YOLO V7, which is a deep learning algorithm, it demonstrated potential in detecting regions of interest containing cancerous tumors in mammograms. YOLO V7 can enhance sensitivity of the screening process by identifying tumors that may be invisible to human eye. The study's results also indicated that YOLO V7 improves the accuracy of breast cancer diagnosis using mammogram databases. Now, implementing YOLO V7 in breast cancer detection holds promising potential for enhancing accuracy, efficiency, and patient outcomes. Now, the future scope for our project is that we used data set of 800 images, and the images were of mediocre quality. So for future scope, a better quality of data set could be used with more number of images. And the second future scope could be that in this project, we mainly focused on identifying the tumor, that is locating the tumor. Furthermore, in future, the tumor can be classified as benign, malignant, or normal. And that's it. Thank you.
How much accuracy you have improved? As you have mentioned in the conclusion that the accuracy is improved in percentage. Hello?
Shravani, can you hear? Are you here?
Shravani? Hello?
Here.
Shravani, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes. Sorry, I could not find the screen. So yeah.
I just wanted to ask you that in the conclusion you have mentioned that the accuracy is improved. So have you measured it in terms of percentage?
Yes, ma'am. The
how much
accuracy
is
yes,
improved?
ma'am. Ma'am, in terms of percentage, we found that 80% of the accuracy is improved, but however, in future, it can be improved even more.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Shravani. Thank you, Nimisha ma'am. Let's move to the next author. So, next up we have Tejas Patil, and his paper title is Digital Financial Asset Management Using Blockchain for Succession Planning of Wealth. Tejas, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, Tejas.
Share my screen.
You may. Yes, sure.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible. Please switch to the slideshow.
Yes.
You've got 8 minutes. You must.
Yes. So a very good evening to the panelists, Suman sir, Nimisha ma'am. So that my name is Tejas Patil. I'm a final year computer science engineering student at Symbiosis Institute of Technology. The title of our research paper is Digital Financial Asset Management for Succession Planning of Wealth. So under the expert guidance of our professor, Dr. Sudhanshu Gunge, Dr. Rahul, Dr. Manik Rao sir, Renuka ma'am, and our respected director, Dr. Ketan Koteta, along with my student co-authors, Shubham Patel, Siddhant Shah, Ravi Thakkar, and myself, we have conducted a study that explores the application of blockchain in managing digital financial assets and surveying its potential impact on the succession planning. So here's a brief abstract. Our research delves into the world of cryptocurrencies and NFTs and digital real estate. So while their popularity has been soaring over the past few decades, their management and especially the inheritance of these assets after the owner's death pose very intricate challenges. So this is where our solution enters with blockchain. It is a game changer in the perspective that it is decentralized and it has immutable nature, which opens avenues through smart contracts and digital will. So our tools ensure seamless and automatic asset transfer to the chosen beneficiaries. This is a paper which takes a deep dive into blockchain's impact, especially from wealth creation to management and succession planning. We explore its potential to revolutionize asset management. So basically, we are shedding light on blockchain's potential solution by giving a balanced perspective. We are also weighing the benefits and the limitations of blockchain's role in this context and discussing its transformative potential. So I want you to picture a distributed and a decentralized ledger that not only secures record transactions, but also holds potential to redefine how we manage our digital assets. So yet there are many challenges as we navigate through digital landscape, managing assets and ensuring their smooth transfer to beneficiaries, especially after the owner's death, is a very complex task. So we are providing a formidable solution in which there is a safe and transparent digital asset ownership tracking as well as transfer. But it does not stop there. Blockchain's true marvel is its ability to provide secure and transparent tracking of digital asset ownership. And this innovation has the capacity to revolutionize how we safeguard and maintain digital assets through estate planning. So moving on to the challenges in our research. First, there is challenge in managing digital assets because of the complexities which gets magnified, especially when we are dealing with decentralized assets like cryptocurrencies and NFTs. Furthermore, maintaining a clear ownership record and ensuring seamless transfer pose a significant challenge. Additionally, there is also lack of centralized control systems which complicate the process. So moving on to the solution which we are proposing a decentralized solution which in its nature will be addressing these challenges by managing these assets. We are using smart contracts and digital will through which we will be automating the asset transfer based on predefined conditions, ensuring efficient and secure succession planning. So this technology basically empowers individuals with full control over their digital wealth. We will be removing ambiguity with digital will, and there will be clear and transparent ownership records. Furthermore, this solution is going to enhance trust and reliability with smart contracts, self-executing rules. So before deciding which platform to use for a project, we did a brief review on the different available platforms. First, we did a review of Ethereum. It basically boasts a very robust and very robust environment for building smart contracts and has an extensive developer community, making it a force to reckon with blockchain landscape. Next up, we did a review of EOS blockchain. It is a very high throughput and low latency blockchain. Basically, it is a very good tool to build scalable solutions which can handle substantial volume of transactions with ease. We also studied Tron, which is a platform that provides a very user-friendly interface. It is also ideal choice, particularly in managing the intricate world of NFTs. Moving on, we also studied Corda. It is mostly a privacy-focused blockchain with its secure real estate management capabilities. It was a good go-to solution for our project as well. Lastly, we also studied the Hyperledger blockchain. It is especially relevant in the enterprise sector. It offers permission blockchain, which ensure enterprise-grade level of financial asset management. However, in the evolving landscape of blockchain, most of these platforms do shine brightly with their unique strengths, but we decided to move on with Ethereum as it provided a broad spectrum solution to our proposed methodology. So moving on to the methodology, here is where the owner this is where we will explore how the owner will be setting up its smart contract to transfer ownership. So basically, first they will be defining specific conditions. So in this case, which you can see in the flowchart, the condition is owner's demise. First, there is the smart contract setup. The owner will create a smart contract defining the beneficiaries and the assets to be transferred to them. Then they will set a lock-in period and a predefined time during which the contract remains inactive. After the owner's demise, when the owner passes away, and when all the conditions and the rules which are set by the smart contract are met, the lock-in period gets expired. After that, there is an automatic execution. So once the lock-in period is being expired, the owner's demise is being verified, and the smart contract will automatically execute the rule through which there would be a transfer of ownership of assets from to the designated beneficiary as per the owner's instruction. There will be all this process will be completely secure, transparent environment. So this process will occur on Ethereum blockchain, ensuring security and transparency. No third party will be involved throughout this entire process, and the entire transfer is completely tamper-proof. So in essence, the lock-in period acts as a waiting period, ensuring that the contract only executes after a certain time after the owner's death. So this mechanism adds an additional layer of security and certainty to the transfer of ownership through smart contracts. This is the analysis.
It's 7 minutes. Can you please conclude, Tejas? Sorry for interrupting, but it's 7 minutes.
Sure, sir. This is a brief analysis of the data which we collected through our platform. We realized that NFTs are those digital assets which take the highest amount of gas value in transaction between the owner and the beneficiary. This is the digital will interface. We have basically built this interface using React.js and Web3.js technologies. So users can effortlessly add beneficiaries, set a lock-in period, and allocate assets with ease. There is a secure linking of private keys to the beneficiary's wallet address so that there is a safe transition. So in the heart of this entire process, smart contracts are used, which meticulously record the instructions. The entire design of this platform is kept intuitive so that there is seamless integration, making the asset management straightforward. So basically, we are streamlining the approach, which simplifies the complex task of managing and transferring digital assets, empowering users with convenient and secure solutions. So this is where I conclude my presentation. And to sum it up, our research contributes to enhancing digital estate planning for safeguarding and maintaining assets. And the potential impact includes simplified inheritance, reduced costs, and improved asset tracking. So thank you very much. That would be the end of it.
Okay, thank you so much, Tejas. I think the session chair has some work, so we'll continue with the presentations of other. So Tejas, you can stop sharing. We move to the next author.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next up we have Prabira Kumar CT sir. Sir, are you here? And his paper title is Nerve Segmentation Using Multi-Scale Attention Mechanism Unit.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah.
okay, sir.
Good afternoon, all. The
Good
session
afternoon,
here.
sir.
I am
So
Dr.
please
Pradeep
share your
Mashetti.
present.
Okay, sure. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible. And please, can you switch to the slideshow mode? It would be better.
Yes.
Okay. And you've got 8 minutes, sir. You may start.
Okay. So, I am Dr. Prabir Kumar Shetty, Department of Electronics of Sambalpur University. So, my title of presentation is nerve segmentation using multi-scale attention mechanism based unit. Okay. In the medical field, surgical treatment is a major aspect of diagnosing any type of the disease. So to do the any type of the surgical procedure, it is very important to identify the nerve position. Actually, not only the nerve position and what is the location and how much the nerve is extended or the spread besides the muscle, that is very much important for the surgical procedure. Still, in most cases, ultrasound images are used to detect the injury or the abnormality of the nerves due to certain diseases. Still, detection of actual position of the nerve is difficult due to presence of noise in case of your ultrasound images. So, in this paper, we proposed segmentation technique based on deep learning, that is multi-scale attention mechanism based unit segmentation. Okay, so these are my agenda. So nerve segmentation plays a critical role in medical image analysis for the accurate diagnosis and treatment of the various type of the disease. The multi-scale attention mechanism unit is an advanced approach for nerve segmentation that leverages the power of the deep learning and attention mechanism, building up the foundation of unit architecture. This method enhances the segmentation accuracy by incorporating the multi-scale features and the attention mechanism. This is nothing but the one type that it is the base is the unit segmentation. Everybody knows about the unit segmentation. So the thing is that we modified the unit segmentation by some of the multi-scale mechanism. That means we just introduce a spatial attention and the channel attention, and then we fuse that those features so that the accuracy or the performance of the segmentation model is increased. Okay. So this is about our data set. In case our in this case, that is 5,635 number of the raw nerve images with their mask. That means the ground truth is also available with the data set, and the images are resized to 576 into that 480. Okay, these are the some samples of the trained images. That means these are the raw images, and these are the means respective the ground truth. Okay. And so I go to the direct methodology. This is the architecture of the methodology. In this case, what happened that the main aim of the proposed methodology is to isolate the nerve structure from the other structures. That means providing the detailed information about the location, size, and how much extent the nerve is damaged or abnormal. Okay. So in this case, the multi-attention based unit segmentation method is nothing but I told already that it is nothing but a modified version of the unit architecture. But in this case, we include the multi-scale attention mechanism to enhance the feature representation of the network. So in this case, the attention means that means it give the more attention to the meaningful regions of the image. That means it give the more attention to the meaningful regions and suppress the irrelevant regions. Okay. So in this case, you see there is a spatial attention and a channel attention. The main work of the spatial attention are the used to extract the spatial relationship between the features to produce the spatial attention map. That means the spatial attention model applies the max pooling. Okay, I go to the yes. This one is the spatial attention model. So in this case, see. There is a max average pooling and a max pooling, and along the channels. Okay, there is the operation of the max pooling, average pooling, and the max pooling throughout the channels axis, and concatenate them to the extract the efficient features. Okay, this is the thing of the special attention. And in case of the channel attention, you see there is two types of the features are extracted. That is low level feature and the high level features. And
Sir, actually, you have crossed your time limit. Can you please
okay,
conclude?
just 1-2 minutes, sir. Okay, so the main mechanism of the high level features, that means in this case what happened, so the high level features guide the low level feature to emphasize or suppress the related features. So, sir, if I am not go to the detail, then no one can understand what I have done actually. That's why. Okay, so these are the results. So see, within this proposed methodology, I got these results. These are the input, these are the ground truth, and these are my proposed, that means output of the proposed methodology. So in this case, there is no nerve. That means it is in ground truth. It is the respective ground truth in the segmentation. So I conclude my paper. So in this case, what happened? So after the demonstrating all these results, because of the less time, so I directly conclude. Okay, so the accuracy is 98.36%, sensitivity is 98.26, and specificity is 97.98. And the Jaccard similarity index, that means it is the most important measures in case of this pixel to pixel segmentation. That one is 0.96, which implies that the work is performance is well. So these are my references. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pravira sir. Actually, we have some time guidelines, so I know your research is quite deep, so we have to adhere to that. Sorry for that inconvenience, but now we have a new session chair with us because Nimisha ma'am had some work. So Professor Vinod Thomar sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I am here.
So very good afternoon, sir. Also, authors, this is a new session chair with us. Sir, do you have any questions from Prabira Kumar, sir, if you entered the presentation on time?
No questions for this presentation.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Vinod, sir, and thank you, Prabira Kumar, sir. And
Okay,
we would be moving to the next author. So next up, we have Ramya ma'am, and her paper title is Strengthening the Privacy of Blockchain with Zero Knowledge Proof Case Study, Online Exam Student Verification. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I'm able to hear you.
Yes, ma'am, please share your screen.
Good evening, everyone. My title is Strengthening the Privacy of Blockchain with Zero Knowledge Proof. Paper ID is 175. My name is Ramya Rajamanikam. Going into the paper, the blockchain technology is I'm just giving a small introduction of blockchain. A blockchain is a growing list of records, which we naturally call as block, and these are securely linked together. Now, each block contains a cryptographic hash of the previous block and a timestamp and a transaction data. And of course, it has a timestamp to prove that the transaction data existed when the block was published to get into this particular hash chain. As block, each contains information about the blocks previous to it also. Thus, they form a chain. There is a connection between each block. Therefore, this is for the blockchains are resistant to modification of their data because once recorded, the data in any given block cannot be altered retroactively without altering all subsequent blocks. This gives a picture of how this blockchain works. It has a base of a Merkle tree. Now, going further, blockchain has evolved from blockchain 1.0, 2.0, and to 3.0. Now the focus is on blockchain 3.0, which applies to just not monetary forms or transaction. It works on different zones now for government, well-being, science, proficiency, culture, workmanship. This blockchain inside this is classified to be as private blockchains. Blockchain is a promising innovation, but it has its own setbacks also. We are using blockchain in wider applications these days. Electronic voting, certificate authorities, Internet of Things, smart systems, land records, supply chain management, e-health. But where do we see a problem in it? The problem comes when we look on privacy. Understanding if and how the blockchain-based applications can provide strong privacy and security in that matter. When this question is arised, many people say we can go as an anonymous user, use a Tor, but not everything is an anonymous user. There are users where they like to publish a transaction, but they want to keep their addresses as anonymous. In those cases, how this blockchain help us? We want security of blockchain, but we also want privacy. In a survey from 2018 to 21, we can see the blockchain has lot of keys. In this figure, we can see the maximum number of hits it has taken place was 611 million in 2021 alone. These are the companies: Zaif, NiceHash, Bitfinex, Bagel, Qcon, MTJox, CoinCheck, Polynetwork. And particularly last year in 2022 alone, there is a great increase in blockchain heist as per the below chart also. And if we can see in every month, there has been these many $1 million that has been hacked into. What do we see? We see that there are a lot of research and study on cryptocurrency, bitcoins, compared to the actual vast environment of blockchain technology itself. There's a very little information available about blockchain, data privacy and security measures and how they are managed. Because there is a lack of clarity in the evaluation measures, and the majority of the researchers fail to demonstrate how to handle these. Blockchain data is a public and transparent. So how to secure it to be a confidential data, like in health records, bank accounts, business contracts? Any interaction with smart contract is also public. This limits the application of a blockchain technology. Blockchain data is immutable. Once the data is written into blockchain, it cannot be removed. That has an advantage and also a disadvantage. Because if you want to edit something, it does not fulfill the right to be forgotten. It is incompatible with GDPR also, because there is no exact data protection regulation for this. So what can be a solution for this? How can I say I'm going to keep my secure privacy? This is through ZKP, zero knowledge proof. The distributed ledger technology and the blockchain technology has enlarged its area into numerous applications. Now, in the public chain network also, the participants can view all the transactions. So how am I going to secure it? A solution is being provided by ZKP. What is ZKP? ZKP allows to publicly verify a statement, but leak no information beyond the statement itself. We have ZK snarks, zero knowledge, non-interactive arguments of knowledge. Zero knowledge, the verifier learns nothing apart from the validity of the statement. Sasan, the size of the message is tiny in comparison to the length of the actual computation. It is non-interactive, there is no or only little interaction. Arguments, the verifier is only protected against computationally limited probers. ZKP follows three properties: completeness, soundness, and zero knowledge. And where to implement this ZKP in a blockchain system? In messaging, authentication, storage protection, sending private blockchain transactions, complex documentation, file system control, transmitting private blockchain transactions, democratizing board verification, security for sensitive information. When using a blockchain with ZKP, the problem of data privacy and security in transaction can be solved. In this paper, we are proposing a ZKP and a permission blockchain strategy for achieving this. This can be applied for anything like food delivery, Swiggy, Zomato, home delivery, parcel delivery, Uber, for any verification applications. We have taken a case study for an online exam with blockchain network. An online exam is there. And we are going to see about an online exam application, university and a student. With a blockchain, how we are going to verify it as the student. An online exam application caters in conducting examination for the students. The university exam center and the student of the university are the main stakeholders. Both the parties get registered on the blockchain. The application generates key of proof and key of verify to the students and the peer nodes in the blockchain respectively. Like most applications, the registration is only a one-time activity here also. The student uses the key of proof and generates a ZKP for identity verification. So that later on he need not use it. Uses ID card, or you cannot do any more practices in that because the ZKP has been created. This ZKP gets sent to the peer nodes in the blockchain network. Then the peer node uses the key of verifier to verify the ZKP generated by the student. The student and the examination center gets notification after the verification is complete. Now the usual process like of blockchain, like execution of smart contract and insertion in ledger takes place. And access to online exam is also granted to the student. This is the chain. First, the online exam application generates and sends a key of proof to the student. Then it generates and sends to the verifier. Then a verification is requested sent to the ZKP. Then the ZKP process is verified. Then if it is a success, then success notification is sent to both the application and the student, and the application gives a grant of access and the student can start the exam.
Amit, 7 minutes. Can you please conclude? Sorry for the interruption.
The implementation challenges was complexity and technical expertise is required in this. Potential performance and scalability issues also may occur in future. There's a limited availability of ZKP libraries also in this. Balancing privacy and transparency requirements has to be clear in this. And concluding it, current blockchain solutions are still far to cope with the privacy challenges. And also, in the situation undermines users' rights, such as right to become anonymous in a certain situations, the right to erase data or withdraw consent, thereby lessening the realization of a truly privacy-preserving model. ZKPs have the potential to encrypt the data in pieces. This enables users to control certain blocks, the visibility of information contained within them, allowing some users access while restricting the others. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Ramya ma'am. Vinod sir, do you have any questions?
Yes, I have one question. Blockchain is a secure framework. Then why there is a privacy challenges in this?
In general, we go to blockchain for security only, sir. Apart from that, also recently, as things are getting evolved, people are finding ways to attack or hack into a blockchain network in numerous ways. It has some open challenges like a 51% attack, Byzantine problems. There are numerous cases that are coming up recently, and using those loopholes, people are able to attack into it. So while applying to our any application and any modification, this blockchain has private, hybrid model, public blockchain. Because of these, we'll have to be careful to apply an extra protection layer also.
Okay, fine.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Ramya ma'am.
Thank you.
We'll move to the next author. So next up, we have Aditya Gujarati, and his paper title
Good afternoon,
is
sir.
Good afternoon. Touch-free biometric authentication system. So Aditya, please share your screen with us.
Yes, sir. My name is Aditya Gujarati, and I have a team of 5 members, wherein include Sarvesh More, Ganesh Masute, Tushar Mahajan, and our guide as a mentor, Professor Dhanraj Jadhav, sir. We are working on touch-free biometric authentication system, which includes face recognition systems, voice and iris and fingerprints. Our motivation for this project was cyber criminals are using newer and more advanced methods to target online users. The losses attributed to financial fraud are alarming. The financial services industry has become a primary target of cyber attacks on a global scale. And we can see in our day-to-day life, like in nowadays, the recent news about Mewat in India, where many cyber criminals are the cyber crimes are increasing. So to be more provide secure systems, we can use this. Our problem statement is biometric traces that are left on the screen of a security device or mobile phone may cause a threat to privacy of people. When such personal data is likely to be stolen, the touchless authentication system is proposed to overcome this problem. In our system, we are proposing an system wherein we don't need to touch any other any hardware device where our fingerprints get left or anything that can be vulnerable. In literature review, we have studied about 6 to 7 papers on Siamese neural networks, face recognition models, and some of the fingerprint recognition systems where we can use many different models such as and algorithms like eigenfaces, facenet, deepface, and convolutional neural networks and local binary patterns. Also, Siamese neural network gives you a full face recognition system. Coming to observation, improvement in the system accuracy is needed. Since these models have been somewhere in the world have been always been prepared, but the accuracy needs to be increased. And not everyone has a camera or mobile phones with camera built in it. So we need to come up with a proper way where we less megapixel camera can be used to identify or recognize the identification. We can use them. Our objective is using smartphone instead of dedicated device, provide high security to customer data, make user experience conventional, increase the speed of authentication, contribution to the new biometric techniques. Coming to the hardware and software, we all use Android device, and in software we have used Visual Studio Code, Android Studio, and MySQL for preparing our databases. Coming to the system architecture diagram, wherein the user has to first log in, where face, iris, or finger or voice, any of the four authentication system will be recorded and it will be stored in database, and the database will be trained accordingly. And when the user in logins again in the system, it will recognize the person or the user accurately. The models we used are fingerprint, face, and iris, and we have kept the voice recognition for a future. On conclusion, an open source biometric identification system for the Android platform was designed and implemented in this paper, and it works well on Android mobile phones. It is now possible to obtain biometric images from a smartphone without the use of a dedicated and more expensive device. Extract minutia from the pre-processed image and executing matching using secure mobile web server connection. Because of the simplicity and feasibility of obtaining biometric images from devices such as mobile phones, which are now owned by practically everyone, is becoming a more common choice. The matching step can be improved by including a step to deal with corruption or experimenting with deep learning algorithms. We plan to make the system available as an API component that can be used to lock cell phones or any application that requires a high level of authorization in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Vinod sir, do you have any questions?
Yes, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask that what is the impact of this application in its real-time use?
In real-time use, it will be a bit slower because we need to train models. We are working on it, how to increase the timing. So we are going it through on a cloud-based system where we can train the models in real time at a faster rate. And now we have just the thing is we have now implemented it for some 500 images or some different 300 images, but we need to keep it to 5 or 10 images that can be used precisely.
And what should be its limitation?
Its limitations will be like we need a Android phone wherein a camera will be needed, because our each and face recognition, iris recognition, and fingerprint recognition works through cameras. We are
Okay.
implementing fingerprint recognition through camera or not by sensors or something different or radar systems. We use always UV rays that we always use. Instead of that, we are going to use it using cameras.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay, thank you so much, Aditya, and thank you, Vinod sir. So moving on to the next author. So next up, we have Sampada Joshi, and her paper title is Wearable Device to Monitor the Health Parameters of a Cyclist. Sampada, can you hear me?
Hey, can I present on behalf of Sampada since she's unable to join?
Okay, so your name is Isha Nikam.
Isha Nikam, yes.
Fine. So you will be presenting the entire presentation?
Yes.
Sure, sure. You may proceed. Please share your screen first.
Okay. Okay, so I am a student of Cummins College of Engineering, Pune. The problem statement is to develop a wearable device to monitor the health parameters of a cyclist. So in today's busy world, where we are left with very little time to look after our health, one of the best physical activities that health experts suggest is cycling. But as we know, cycling is a demanding physical activity, and hence it becomes necessary to monitor the health of the cyclist. And hence we have developed a device which will help to track various vitals of the cyclist. There are already several wearable devices in the market today, but very few are specially catered to the cyclist's needs. So we have referred to various research papers in the process to understand the problem statement better. And we have realized that there were a few observations that we found. Firstly, the relationship between the cadence and the power in the pedaling was an important criteria which was missed by many of the existing devices. Also, a low consumption and high integration sensor technology is very useful to measure the accuracy of the device. The vital signs, which include 4 major vitals, including temperature, pulse rate, and breathing rate, also blood pressure, are the soul of the health parameters, which should be concentrated on while measuring the health parameters. Also, in today's world, with the development of 3D printing technologies, many new devices have come into the market which barely focus on the important parameters like health, and they give more importance to other parameters. GPS tracking is one such parameter which is also important to suggest paths to the cyclist. So the device consists of 3 major modules. First being the sensing module, which includes sensors. Second being the processing module, which includes the microcontroller. And third being the communication module. This includes the application as well as the display screen on the device. Here is the process flow. So the user can access the device, which consists of sensors, which are connected to the cloud via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. The user also has access to the application where he can track various features like navigation, activity, his health vitals, and also other miscellaneous tasks like streaming music. So we have made use of the following hardware. Node MCU was used as the microcontroller. We use a rechargeable battery to perform battery charging. We used a OLED display for the display of the vitals of the cyclist. We also used 2 major sensors, which is MAX30102, which is a heart rate and pulse oximeter sensor, and a gyro sensor for measuring the acceleration of the cyclist. This is the circuit diagram that we followed. Okay, so now let us see what are the distinguishing features between our device, which is FITZ, and the other pre-existing devices in the market. So one of the most important parameters, the acceleration parameter of the cyclist. We have observed that in various pre-existing devices such as Google Fitbit, Strava app, Hammer smartwatch, Apple Watch Series 8, these devices rely on the GPS speed. Whereas in our device, we have made use of the acceleration sensor, which provides a better and accurate calculation of the acceleration. The vitals fluctuation is provided by our device, which is FITZ, which is very important so that the cyclist knows if his vitals are decreasing or increasing, and he should stop and take rest for a while. The battery charging speed is another important factor which comes into play, where we have used a recharging module which helps our device to be fully charged in 30 minutes and operates for 6 hours, whereas other devices take a longer time. So we have observed a few readings and compared it with the other existing devices. And we have, as I said, we have made use of two major devices, which is MAX30102, which senses the temperature of the cyclist, the SpO2, and the heart rate. We also made use of an additional sensor, MPU6050, which takes care of the acceleration parameter. And we observed that our readings were more accurate when compared to the other existing devices. Now let me show you our device. This is the device that we made, and as we can see, this is the display which displays the parameter of the cyclist. So here we are displaying the temperature. These are the existing devices. So what we observed is the existing devices have a lot of fluctuation, like it shows 89, then it goes to 90, and then it goes to 100. But then when it comes to the sensor is a more accurate way of measuring the parameter. This is the heart rate before cycling on Hammer watch, and this is after cycling on the Hammer watch. And this is the heart rate after cycling on FITZ and before cycling on FITZ. So we performed this test with 3 sample devices, which are pre-existing devices, and our device, which is FITZ device. And we came to a conclusion that the FITZ, as it makes use of sensors, it has a better accuracy than the others, since sensors are more accurate. We also made use of a sensor for heart rate, which is installed on as a finger sleeve because it doesn't work properly on the wrist. Also, a notification will be provided to the cyclist in case he completes a specified target. So a good job notification or some hard points will be provided to the cyclist to encourage him.
Isha, sorry for interruption, but just 1 minute left. So can you please conclude?
Yes, right, I'll conclude. So what is the important parameter that we observed is that the accuracy of the device that we have constructed is more accurate, which is 97% accurate, which is the accuracy of the sensors, whereas the accuracy of the already existing smartwatches is only up to 78%. The temperature feature, which is very essential, is not provided in most of the smartwatches that are there. Also, the smartwatches take up to 10 to 12 seconds to show a single reading when you take your pre-existing smartwatch, but ours is more quicker. Here are a few graphs which the user can see on the application to make a note of his daily progress. The future scope includes offline monitoring, which will be beneficial to the user. Also, the device will be able to take decisions by itself by using ML and AI technologies in future. A personalized routine can be suggested to the cyclist based on his BMI, and medical professionals can be sent the record of the cyclist directly. Such features can be included. So in conclusion, we observe that the health monitoring system designed using IoT is more effective and stable compared to the other technologies. These are the references. Thank you.
Thank you, Isha. Sir, Vinod sir, do you have any questions? Hello.
Yes.
Sir, do you have any questions?
Yes, I have one question. I would like to ask that have you done cost analysis for your device? What is the cost compared to existing devices available in the market?
We have only tested the vitals because we have only used the sensors for testing the 4 vitals that I mentioned. So right now we did a test only for those vitals and the pre-existing devices calculating those vitals.
Okay. Okay, good.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Vinod sir, and thank you, Isha. Moving on to the last author for this session. And we have Priyanka. And Priyanka's paper title is WhatsApp Chat Analyzer. Priyanka, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you please share your screen?
Oh, yes, sir. So is the screen visible?
Yes, it's visible. Can you please switch to the slideshow mode?
Yeah. So good evening, sir and ma'am. This is Priyanka. I am from Vishwakarma Institute of Technology and Pune, and my co-authors are Suyog, Pranav, Prashant, Priyanka, and Prashil. So looking forward. So these are the contents. Like we will go with the flow. Introduction, literature review, problem statement, objective, application, system architecture, tools and technology, methodology, advantage, disadvantage, conclusion, and future scope. So the introduction is WhatsApp chat analyzer. It helps to analyze things and the chats which we will be chatting on the WhatsApp, and that chat files can be exported from the WhatsApp, and it can generate various types of plots and graphs showing the number of messages or emojis or the images sent by a person. It also shows the most active member in the group and also the most active hour and the most active week in the whole week, most active day in the whole week. So it also helps us for the better understanding of our WhatsApp chats. And so the literature review survey we have done is for some papers, the WhatsApp chat analysis. In this paper, so data analysis and data processing is done using Python and the Python libraries and the packages that are available in Python. And so looking for the demerits. So demerit is that they haven't done any sentiment analysis and all that thing. So which we have done in our paper. And the second paper is WhatsApp chat analyzer. In this paper, sentiment analysis algorithm is used, and they have shown only whether it is positive, negative, or neutral. But the demerit of this, it is that they have made a Flutter app which can be only done in Java. So in Python, what happens is we have used a number of packages which will be helpful for the project further. And the next paper is text classification based behavior analysis of WhatsApp chats. So in this what they have used a sentiment analysis to describe the attitude and the opinion from the language using Python. But the demerit is that they have used Google Translation for the sentence translation from Hindi to English, since our chats are a mingle up of English and Hindi too. And the next paper is WhatsApp chat analyzer. What's analyzer, a tool for collecting and analyzing WhatsApp mobile messaging communication data. So in this paper, they have analyzed the chats, but they have exported the chats via email, which is a little means difficult for someone to export the chat if he is a newcomer in this. And this demerit is that they have used email for that exportation of chat. And the next is the forensic analysis of WhatsApp Messenger on Android smartphone. So in this, they haven't done any visualization of anything, and they have just done a software emulated Android device. And the next paper is analysis on social media addiction using data mining techniques. So in this paper, they have only shown how some if any one person is addicted or not addicted. So they haven't shown any what's the sentiment of that person going through. Yeah. So the problem statement is that to make a web application for WhatsApp chat analysis, and the objective is to implement sentiment analysis to analyze the group chats in WhatsApp and to analyze the activity of the individual users. And the application of our project is it can be helpful for fake news monitoring, counter cyberbullying, and minimizing risk of terrorist activities, since it will be helpful for overall analyzing of chats where each and every word will be analyzed, and it will be helpful for telling whether it is a hate speech or not. And system architecture is that we have first the WhatsApp chat file is getting exported to our web application, and it will be loading in that, and data pre-processing and data analysis will be done in build, and visualization is given as the output. And tools and technology as PyCharm and Jupyter Notebook and data science. So PyCharm is the ID where we have created three files where all three files are getting implemented one by one, and Jupyter Notebook is for the visualization where we are getting the heat maps and all the daily activities which will be there in the WhatsApp chats. And the methodology is that here we have created a preprocessor file where data processing code is in preprocessor file, and the second is a app Python file. This is the main file where we have created the Streamlight app, and the second is helper file where we made some functions in this file that can be used in the main project file. That's the Streamlight app. And the advantages of this is that it can be helpful for monitoring our child's activity on WhatsApp, and also we can spy illegal activities if it is done in a very proper manner. And disadvantage is that it has some privacy issues and also security issues, since we are exporting whole WhatsApp files. And also the security issue is that it's somewhat if we don't know, and if we don't know if that person is been getting conclusion is that this there will be a lot of visual representation of up to 10 to 20 users in the WhatsApp chat, and the pseudo code of the plots are getting implemented and visualized at the end of the analysis done. And at the end of the work expected, results were obtained and analysis was able to show the level of participation, time indulged, and also the number of words and the number of emojis that were involved. And also looking forward with the future scope, it can be helpful in finding whether it is a hate speech or cyberbullying or hacking or increased impudence on social media has been observed. And also the chat analyzer can be used as a tool to give a user an insight on their online behavior as they communicate with their peers. And it also helps we can use this further for video and image processing also, and also use to keep the analysis of emotions, how the person is, if the person is negatively impact or positively impact. And so these are some few references which we have referred. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. Vinod sir, do you have any questions for Priyanka?
Have you used any specific algorithm for data analysis?
No, sir, we haven't used any specific, but we have used all the Python libraries which are available in that, and we have itself made some functions. So that will be helpful for the analysis.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay, so I think with this, we conclude this session. I sincerely thank all our authors for their excellent presentation in this session and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough We, on behalf of the whole team, thank you for the support during the 8th version and the previous 7 version of the conferences. We will be happy to have you in the 9th version as well in the next year. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have already been forwarded to the Springer. The publication will be live within 6 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of ICT4SD 2023. I also thank Vinod sir for joining us in such an immediate way, because earlier we had Nimisha ma'am. So thank you so much, Vinod sir. You would be getting the token for appreciation, a certificate from ICT4SD team in 1 or 2 business days. And thank you so much all. So before ending this session, Vinod sir, do you want to say something to all the authors?
I would like to congratulate all the participants for their wonderful presentation and wish you all the best for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. I would also urge all the authors and Vinod sir to please turn on their cameras so that we can capture a quick screenshot. Everybody, please turn on your cameras. Isha, Sahil, Shravani, Siddhant, Tanuja. We'll wait for 20 more seconds and then I click a screenshot. Please, all the authors, turn on your cameras. Okay. Any more? So I think we have only this much. Okay, thank you so much, all the authors, and thank you so much, Vinod sir. May you have a lovely year ahead. I wish to see you in the next year also. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.